Melinda is sponsored by Teamsters Local 1932, protecting the future of working families. Teamsters1932.org.
Hey, feeling good, like I should. When in dark, I walk around the neighborhood. Feeling blessed, never stressed. Got that sunshine on my Sunday best.
Welcome back, everybody. Happy Sunday. You're listening to Whatever Works on KCAA 1050 AM and Express 106.5 FM. I'm still trying to get myself together here. I'm your host, Sam Works.
I'm Kyle Kerrigan.
And this is Whatever Works on the radio every Sunday night at 7 p.m. Reaching across the world. We got some people that are on our show, but they're not here.
No.
They are, where are they at?
One of them is from Washington. The other one is from Massachusetts.
Yes, so super excited to have them on. But before we do all that, Kyle, you know what time it is?
SNJRadio.com. No negative news, no politics, just feel good music.
Awesome. Well, let's. These are actually your guests. You brought them in. Why don't you introduce?
All right. So the first one I'm going to introduce is my brother, Rob. Rob, you there?
Yes, I'm right here.
All right. What's up, Rob? And then the second one I'm going to introduce is the creator of Fights and Friends, and that's going to be Michael. Michael, you there?
I'm here.
There we go.
Right. Let's do this. Now you guys got me excited. Now that I know you guys are here, we're live, we're talking. This is awesome. So who's from which state?
I'm from Washington, Seattle area. I'm from California, but I'm living in Massachusetts now for the last 8 years.
Dang, dude. Like the weather out there?
No.
No.
It's raining right now.
You didn't move to Massachusetts for the weather. Yeah.
No, I moved here for the healthcare.
Oh, very nice. And then, is it Rob? Is it?
Yeah.
And this is Rob. You're Kyle's brother, right?
Yes, I'm his middle-aged brother.
Middle-aged. Is Kyle older or younger than you?
Older. We have an older brother that's older than me.
Oh, okay. Very, very
Yeah.
cool. All right, so you guys are here on the show because we're going to be talking about, what's the topic, Kyle?
Fights with Friends.
Fights with friends. Now, people who are listening probably think that we're just meeting up and beating each other up. But
Yeah.
what is fights with friends?
I'll let you describe it, Mike.
So Fights with Friends it's kind of like an old-time radio show is what a lot of people tell me they think of the experience. So I do play-by-play. We're doing like a UFC card, a boxing card. We're basically doing something every Saturday, and we're interactive with the chat. Like I noticed a lot of people weren't really interactive with their chat. They really weren't building a community. They would say they have fans. I would never say I have fans. I would say like Robert's part of my community. You know, guys are part of the community, and you know we hang out basically every week for 3 to 6 to even 8 hours sometimes. We share each other's lives on there, and it's like it's kind of like a virtual sports bar, I would say.
That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like that. Who came up with that idea?
The community, I firmly believe that the community found itself, because when I started doing YouTube, I was always interested in MMA, but it actually didn't even start out as a YouTube channel, as an MMA channel. It's called Mike Reviews It All, and I basically just kind of tried to take the Google philosophy. It's like, okay, things I'm interested in, let's just throw things at the wall, see what sticks. First time I did a couple fight breakdowns on who I thought was going to win, they started getting way more views than everything else. So then I'm like, okay, now I'm going to figure out how to go live. And we did that and just kind of grown since then.
How long have you been doing it?
7 years, actually.
Oh, wow, okay.
It was actually 7 years yesterday.
Oh, okay. Well, happy anniversary.
Hey,
Thank you.
I'm sure you guys watched last night's fight then, huh?
Yeah, I'm actually here in Vegas, so that's why we actually didn't live stream last night. We ran an event. I invited all of our fans. Anybody that wanted to come, I'm like, come here. We're going to do that again too. But I'm sitting here looking at Caesar's Palace across the street while I'm talking to you, and it's just been a blast. My first time in Vegas. Went to PFL on Friday. Great event there. We met a ton of fighters. Like, we met Junior Dos Santos. We seen Chuck Liddell. We met Brandon Moreno, former lightweight champion. Just Misha Tate. It's been a great weekend.
Awesome. And Rob, I actually have a question for you.
I hear nothing Mike's saying, so you guys have to fill me in what he said. I'm trying to listen, but I can only hear you guys when you talk. When he talks, it's like for some reason muffled.
Oh,
But,
sorry about that. Can you repeat that?
I couldn't hear what you guys, what Mike was saying, so I was trying to listen on the radio and I was getting a delay. But I heard him say like, how long has he been involved with the channel? And I found him actually the year he started the channel 7 years ago, and it's kind of what helped me in my life. I kind of use the community as like kind of like my therapy, kind of like what you guys were talking about last weekend, where you need someone to talk to.
Oh yeah, okay.
Kyle's, your co-host, said it. He's talking about how some people just need someone to talk to.
Right.
And so that's what I use the community for. And I'm an ex-drug addict, and it actually helped me like steer clear of going back that path and just talk to these people, and it just became a friend. So it's really people think it's fighting with friends, but no, it's like really friends watching fights, being friendly, you know.
Right.
Our board up like that one. That's good. So you started off 7 years ago. How much have this thing climbed, fighting with friends?
It was climbing. It was climbing very quickly to begin with. I was just looking and saying my stats. So like, I had over two thirds of my subscribers in the first 3 years, I believe it was the first 3 or 4 years, and then I slowed down a lot because I was running a 7-day-a-week business, and now I sold my business that I had then to do this full time, and that was just over 2 months ago.
Wow, full time.
Yeah.
Cross my fingers, and I make enough money.
That's crazy. That's pretty cool.
But yeah, no, I think you guys will do well. You know, especially since you're putting your full faith into Fights and Friends. I think it'll grow a lot more and exponentially. Let's talk about last night's fights. What do you guys think? Was everyone's predictions good? Was everyone's how exactly are we feeling about the Holloway?
Rob, why don't you go first, Rob?
You got to repeat.
You can't hear me.
Yeah, you guys both came in at the same time. Just
I was saying that was pretty awesome.
Yeah. No, I was actually going for Gaethje, and
So was I.
dude, it was
So was I.
crazy.
Yeah, I
'cause-
don't forget you too.
Yeah, if the ones who are listening, if you guys don't watch UFC, last night's card was one of the best lines up in UFC history. Some of the, really, even the prelims.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
man, they were stacked, and I was super excited for the Gaethje and Holloway. And my brother, he's out in San Diego, and he invited me over. They threw this huge, fight night thing with all his buddies, and I was at my friend's house over here in Yucaipa. And as soon as he got knocked out, I called my brother. I was like, no. He's like, bro, I called it. And the craziest thing was there was, 2, maybe 1 second left in the 5th round. That was...
Yeah, I mean, the happiest people today are the people that bet Max Holloway by knockout in the 5th, because it was 25-1 odds, and I guarantee you they thought they weren't going to get it until 4:59.
Wow.
That was insane, dude. And then, it's even funnier. I was thinking about it today when I was at work. I was like, Gaethje, like, he really he got knocked out and lost. Like, when you watch fights, you're just like, oh, man, he lost, or, oh, he got knocked out. But, like, you don't really feel for the person. Like,
Yeah.
just, like, as a human being, like, getting knocked out, like, totally exhausted. You went to war. Like, no one really goes through all that.
Right.
Most people don't, So these guys fighting in the cages, just getting kicked and just beat up, like that's their job, that's their life, and it's just like, I can't believe it to be honest,
Yeah.
Yeah, and for those
mental
that
fortitude.
don't know, that maybe don't watch as many fights, like a flat out knockout like that, like unconscious like that, that's actually extremely rare, especially for somebody to be out as long as Gaethje was. One of the biggest fan favorites out there. Him and Max, I love both of those guys. I did think Gaethje would take it, and yeah, I was very surprised. Max was just a beast.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Was that the fight that everyone was waiting for?
I think that was kind of like the people's main event,
Yeah.
as they might say. Yeah.
I was
So-
actually looking forward to the Kayla Harrison fight and the Bo Nickel fight.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I actually did. I don't. When did they fight? Because it was before them, right?
Yeah, Max.
Yeah.
Max was in that 3 spot, so there was 2 fights after that.
Oh man, dude. If I'm gonna be honest with you guys, all right. So I came into the studio late because I had to take a nap because last night I went to my buddies and I don't really drink anymore, dude. But when I go to their house, when I went over to their house, bro, I woke up I remember, calling my brother after the Gaethje and Holloway fight, and then I think that was it, dude. I blacked out after that, and bro, I just woke up. I was like, what? I didn't even know I was sleeping. It was really crazy. So I know I missed a lot, but I did get to watch a few of the fights last night, and it was pretty cool. So how do you guys? How do you run the statistics, your predictions? You guys at least got to have good predictions for this thing to really grow and, people want to,
Yeah, it's also a thing that we do called a verdict. I'll let Mike explain verdict.
Yeah, we do a thing called Fantasy MMA. We do verdict. Everybody does their picks every week, and it's it's a little different than fantasy football, because you're picking new fights and everything every week, but you might pick the method of victory, who you think's going to win, and different fighters are worth different points. But I watch a lot of tape. You look at styles. If somebody was inside of Max's camp, they might have bet on Max because I watched tendencies. And Justin Gaethje, I didn't catch how he drops his head, but he drops his head. Max Holloway, he's seen that on tape because if you guys notice, every time he would drop down, Max would time that spinning kick. That's how he broke his nose in the first round.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's interesting.
And so what?
Justin basically never got back into the fight after the first round. I kind of felt like that was kind of it.
Yeah, no, it's one of those things. I'm sure he didn't even want to continue, but he's a warrior. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
no matter what happens, you just got to keep pushing. What was your guys' predictions before the fight? I'm curious on your guys' thoughts on that.
Mine was Gaethje by knockout on that one. I didn't think that Max was going to be able to sustain the leg kick because of how Gaethje's
That's the
taking
reason
other
why
guys
the
out, like
fight
Edson
breaks
Barboza.
down the
And Max
actual
has really
play-by-play.
surprised me.
Say that one more time, Mike.
Oh, I say Max just really surprised me that he was able to take those leg kicks because nobody's been able to. Once Gaethje starts eating your legs up, it's game over generally. And I was really surprised. Max was tough.
Yeah. And then Rob, what did you say?
I would say that's one reason why I like Mike because he can analyze play by play because he watches tapes and he used to do judo, so he knows actual moves, names of moves, and he's pretty quick with it.
Mm-hmm.
So you actually feel like you're listening to the commentary from the event. But I like his commentary better because he gets way into it. He gets way high with his reactions, and just watching along, you feel like you're there next to Mike commentating the fight. It's pretty awesome.
Hell yeah. And if you guys are just tuning in, it is 15 minutes past the hour. We have 2 guests from Massachusetts and
Washington.
Washington, yes.
Fights with friends.
Fights with friends, you guys. You're listening to Whatever Works on KCAA. They started up 7 years ago, and they just make sports predictions, right? And just talk about it. I mean, for like
And live reactions, yeah, of events.
live reactions, yeah. And so, what like okay, so I know you guys like the sports, UFC and stuff, and you said does Mike have a background in judo, or is that Rob?
I have a background in judo, yeah.
Oh, okay, so you
It's Mike, yeah.
so you guys done martial arts in your own experiences, right? So, because I was gonna ask, like, what really drew you into, first of all, just MMA in general?
Well, for me, I got tired of getting beat up as a kid, to be honest. Like, I was pretty awkward. Today, they might have said I was autistic or something. I don't know. They'd probably slap me with some label. But
My story's a little weirder.
First time I watched Enter the Dragon, I was like, oh, I got to learn how to do this. I was inspired by Bruce Lee. I was in 5th grade. Me and my buddy, we rented that VHS tape from the Maz video on Walla Walla, and we watched it 5 times straight through.
Wow, that's crazy. So you choose Bruce Lee over Chuck Norris then?
I mean, Chuck's awesome. If they were to get in
Yeah.
a regular fight, I mean, like an actual a kickboxing match, Chuck might beat him. But yeah, Bruce was my first inspiration.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. And what about you, Rob? What's your story?
So I'll tell you, Bruce Lee or Chuck Norris. I love Bruce Lee just as what he done for the mix. He's the one that brought the whole mixed martial arts kind of style where you're mixing different martial arts together. But as a fighter, Chuck Norris competed in actual competition, and he's actually a pretty good fighter.
Yeah.
But my experience with MMA is, believe it or not, my stepfather, my mom married a guy that was only 9 years older than me. He's 25 when I was 16, and he was into MMA. And he had me record the pay-per-view fights for him because he didn't live at our house, first of all, and he also knew I had one of them black boxes from back in the day. You can get pay-per-views.
Oh yeah.
And so I was recording them for him, and I just got into it, and that's the only constant thing that's been in my life since '95.
Wow, that's pretty interesting. And
I've had friends that did martial arts, though, and they taught me some stuff, and then as detailed as I watch it, and all the fights I've been in, like, so I was a bouncer at 18 years old, so
oh wow,
I was fighting at a young age.
nice. Do you
At one of the big-time clubs in Riverside that was one of the biggest ones in the Northern Hemisphere.
Oh, that was
Western
Club Metro, right?
Yeah, people
Yeah.
are driving
Rest in peace.
8 hours away just to come to this club, and famous people were there. I met a lot of famous people being there with my mom. And they had boxing events there, so I was always been into boxing since I was like 2 because they had boxing events there all the time.
Yeah,
She'd bring up.
that's right. Yeah, no, our dad actually talked about that.
Yeah, our dad got me into boxing. He was putting on Mike Tyson fights when I was like 2-3 years old.
Yeah, he.
Speaking of Mike Tyson, I think you guys know what I'm going to say next. He has a fight coming up with
Logan Paul.
Logan Paul.
Was it Logan or Jake?
Jake Paul.
Jake Paul. How do you guys feel about that?
When I first heard about it, of course, I thought it was a joke. To be honest, I'm not real excited about setting a precedent of 58-year-old guys fighting. Like, not really sure why Jake wants to beat up this old man, but I hope Tyson can knock him out.
I think I know why.
Well, money, yeah.
No, it's not even about the money. It's like,
I think it's about the money.
well, not about the, okay, yeah, yes, partially it is for the money, but also, you know, Jake Paul, he has this persona of like being, you know, this guy, right? This image, and he feels like he needs to beat someone like Mike Tyson. Like Mike Tyson is one of the greatest boxers ever. So if he can beat the greatest boxer ever, well then he puts himself in a higher rank. You know what I'm saying? But like that's why he did it, and he has the advantage. I mean, Jake Paul, you know, he's in the grind right now. He's in his prime, and Tyson, he's a little rusty. You know, like he's getting old, and so like he's taking advantage of that.
Yeah.
You know, like if Muhammad Ali was still alive, he would ask Muhammad Ali to fight. Like, you know, it's not morally right, but he's doing it so he can, you know, put himself in that rank. and it's crazy.
Yeah, Jake's a complicated guy because, like, I mean, at first when he came into boxing, from what I knew about him, honestly, I couldn't stand the guy. I'm like, what is this guy's like made himself big from playing pranks on his neighbors, waking people up at 3 a.m. and breaking the law. I'm like, it just doesn't really seem like a job to me. And then he got into boxing, and he trains hard. I've talked to fighters that have been around him, actually, and I've listened to interviews and things. I haven't heard anyone say that this guy does not work his butt off. Every day he comes in, he's learned boxing from the ground floor. He's beaten some really good fighters. Might not be my favorite person, but I respect him as a fighter now.
I respect him as a fighter as well. Maybe not much as a person, but as a fighter, yes. And the thing is, you can tell too when someone is like Logan Paul. He's doing it, but like he got some size on him. Like he's putting on size. But like when you're fighting and you're training, you're leaning out. You know what I mean? Your footwork, your speed, all that stuff. And Logan Paul's just trying to put an image on him. But you can tell like Jake Paul has some serious development, and he's been grinding. You know, like he can compete. He's not someone that we can just throw his name out and be like, oh, he's trash, because just you can see the development with him, and just like what he's been doing this for like 2 years or something.
Maybe 2 or 3 years.
About 3 years, I think.
About 3 years.
His first televised bout was actually on the Roy Jones Jr. Mike Tyson bout, and I want to say it's about 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think the only thing is, though, it's like because he started off with money and fame, like he was able to jump ahead all these fighters, bro. Some of these fighters been literally doing this their whole lives and since they're little kids, and they have to go by the rules. They have to go the traditional way, you know, start off amateur, work your way up, and then get spectators and all this stuff. And then, you know, Jake Paul, he just kind of just jump in, and he was like, oh, I'm gonna start boxing, you know, all these famous people already. He jumped the line, which I don't think is right, but I mean, it is what it is.
You know, off the other hand, I think both the Logan brothers are really great at marketing. You know,
I have something to say about that, actually.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I'm thinking this fight is actually a big thing for all sports fans, because it's going to be the first live sporting event on Netflix, and if it does really, really good, then that's good for the UFC, because UFC is about to start a new deal. They might go to Netflix and ESPN. That's a good thing for people that pay pay-per-views, because it's $80 now for the pay-per-views. But if it goes to Netflix, it'll be live, free sports, and it should be free, hopefully.
Yeah, exactly. I think they're still going to probably charge for, or at least a little bit for the events, but.
Well, I think that's what the Paul brothers are doing. They're trying to get live sporting events on Netflix, and it was his idea to bring the fight to Netflix.
Yeah, but that just goes back to what I was saying about the marketing. You know, especially Logan Paul with Prime and KSI. You know they're going around the country, and you know they're marketing, and they're getting out there. And, you know, Jake's a fighter now, so he's doing what he's got to do. But I think both of them kind of feed off each other, and they know how to market, and they know how to use social media. And so they know how to get, you know, all these people to this event. And I think both of them together are going to probably make a lot of money within the next 10 years, 15 years. You know,
they already have too much money, dude. They have more money than they can.
You know, I think they're going to make a lot more just based off the vocabulary, the different kinds of, you know, ethics that go into marketing. So they actually know a lot more about marketing than people realize.
Yeah, they've been marketing themselves since they were like 10 years old.
Somebody in the family is in marketing or something, but totally agree. Like, all of a sudden, they got this Prime drink. They got, I mean, they're everywhere. I'm watching, you know, I'm watching a show on, I think it was Pristine Auction, on something where they're showing, like, you know, really rare memorabilia. Really cool show. And who's on at the end? Oh, it's Jake Paul again, you know, for the last 10 minutes of the show or something. Like, they work hard. They might be punks, but they work hard.
Right, yeah, no, we can give them that.
There's, man, I gotta go on my phone real quick, because there is this guy who I watch. Sorry, he's that guy. Like years ago, I forgot his name. It's not Ty Lopez. Do you guys,
Oh yeah.
you guys know who Ty Lopez is?
Um,
No, he was the
I'm
guy
trying to
in
think.
the
No, I don't think so.
he was like the guy on the YouTube ads. He's like, oh, he's standing by his Ferrari in his garage. He's like, but my thing I like the most, whatever, is like all these books, And then he was trying to, he blew himself up on the marketing on social media. But anyways, he was doing an interview with Logan Paul. And he says, if you want to be successful, if you want to have like this massive wealth, whatever, like you gotta brand yourself. You gotta have a brand. And
Yeah.
that's literally after that he came up with Prime, like the Prime drinks.
Yeah.
So he branded himself. He created a brand, and now he's just making millions and millions off these drinks.
Yeah. Him
And-
and KSI.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it was honestly he should give thanks to Ty Lopez for giving him that
Oh, for
advice
sure.
because that probably changed his life forever. Because being in
Yeah.
YouTube, even being in sports, like that's temporary, dude. You're making all this money quick, which is good, kinda. I don't really think that's a good idea to be honest, and I'll touch back on that. But branding yourself is like that longevity of wealth. Like you can be old and still market and still brand. But when you're fighting and you're getting hit, damages, all this stuff, the money's good and the money's quick, but you're not even financially literate. Some of these people in sports, they after they're done with all these pro sports, they go back to 9-to-5 jobs. And it's
Yeah, that's crazy.
because they're immature when it comes to the money, and two, the sports that they're doing is just temporary.
And that's. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, sorry, real quick. I read the statistics that 78% of NFL players go bankrupt within 5 years of them retiring from the NFL, which is a crazy
Well, don't get me
statistic to
Mike
me.
start on the amount of fighters that go bankrupt after they stop fighting.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say, but the NFL, at least they have the money. They have the opportunity to go out there and get an accountant. They're starting to teach them a lot of financial classes, so I think things are getting better. I think that number used to actually be higher. In MMA, I really advocate for fighter pay because some of these guys, like literally, maybe even in the UFC, like they're not making enough money that they don't have to work another job. You got a guy like Jake Paul. I'll give an example. Yes, he worked his butt off. He doesn't
Yeah.
have to go to a job. I'll make an example real quick. A fighter I know, he's in MMA. He's fought some bare knuckle. His name is Bruce Lachmedio. A really great guy. Guy fights in, like I said, bare knuckle, MMA. He also has like 6 jobs. I don't know how this guy. I'm not joking. Like I don't even know how this guy survived. I was talking before. He was working 80, 90 hours a week, delivering pizza. Just hustling, doing everything that he could do because the money just wasn't there in fighting, even though, he's on TV, he's on, whatever, big online shows and stuff, and still maybe fighting for $10,000-$20,000 or less, and you have all of these training fees, all your trainers, your managers, everybody wants to cut, you got your taxes.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think another good example was Shaq. When he started And One, working with Walmart and Target for selling clothes at relatively cheaper prices than Nike, Adidas, and then years later, when that whole Papa John's fiasco went on, he went and bought Papa John's, and then he's also one of the 5 guys in the 5 Guys restaurant food chain. And he's actually putting himself out there. And I just read recently, I don't know if you guys knew this, but he's an actual EDM DJ.
That's
know-
some crazy
I didn't know
stuff.
that.
Yeah. He actually performed at EDC this year as a
Wow.
as a DJ. So he has his music on Spotify, wherever you listen to music. He goes by Shaq Diesel.
Oh, he used to rap under Shaq Diesel way back in like the late 90s.
I forgot.
Yeah.
He rapped and he did Shazam and all that. And then so he goes by DJ Shaq Diesel. And he goes out, he goes to Ibiza and then he's an EDM artist, which he makes a lot of money doing that too.
Yeah, research shows that Shaq owns 50 brands.
50 brands.
From like Krispy Kreme to Five Guys to Big Chicken to Our Fitness, like all these businesses. And that's the thing.
Well, I got a fun story about Shaq, about how he got into Google before it started.
Oh.
Hey, before we jump into that, that's a good cliffhanger.
He got a business meeting with the guy that was trying to start Google. I don't remember the guy's name, and the guy had his kids there. And the kids were playing with Shaq, and the guy had to go into a business meeting. The guy came back out and seen how much fun the kids had. He's like, you know what? I want you to fit with Shaq. I want you to buy it, or I want you to get into this Google thing, and you're going to be famous and rich, off of this. And you know where Google's at now, and Shaq's part owner of that.
Wow.
A lot of people don't know that. He's got shares back up.
Yeah.
When it first started.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
There's a lot of people who have different thoughts about Shaq, and a lot of people don't actually know what's under Shaq's belt, which is crazy. All right, you guys, we're going to take a quick 5-minute break. But, huh? Does he really? Does he? Really?
No, don't believe Joe. Don't
Okay.
believe Joe. He does not own the
Man, our
station.
board op, bro. He got me again. No, I'm just kidding. All right, you guys, we're going to take a 5-minute break. Stay tuned. If you're jumping off the exit on the freeway, turn back around. Or you listen to us on our app or on www.kcaradio.com. Watch us live. All right, guys, we'll be right back. Give us 5 minutes.
All right, Michael, Rob, give us 5 minutes.
Hey, feeling good, like I should. When in Durga, walk around the neighborhood. Feeling blessed, never stressed. Got that sunshine on my Sunday best.
From the Bureau of Economic Geology, this is Earth Date. Mark your calendars and buy some eye protection, because on August 21st, 2017, the U.S. will experience a total eclipse of the sun. A total eclipse happens when the moon passes perfectly in front of the sun, blocking its view from the Earth. Only a small path across the U.S. will see the sun completely obscured. But that path of totality stretches from Oregon to South Carolina, passing over nearly 50 million people. If you were to view the eclipse from space, you'd see a small moon shadow 70 miles wide cast upon the surface of Earth and moving quickly across it at 1,500 miles an hour. From Earth, you can experience this moving shadow too. If you're lucky enough to witness the total eclipse from a mountaintop, you'll see the moon shadow racing toward you from miles away. Eventually, it will engulf you. Darkness will fall. The temperature will drop 10 to 15 degrees. You'll see what looks like sunset on all horizons. Birds will stop chirping, and crickets may start. But don't blink. This ethereal scene will last only about 2.5 minutes before the shadow races on. The experience can be awe-inspiring, even unnerving, and you'll understand how early cultures would have given powerful religious significance to a total eclipse. If seeing one is on your bucket list, head to the Path of Totality on August 21st, find some high ground, and look to the heavens, wearing the right eye protection, of course. I'm Scott Tinker, and I hope you'll enjoy this coming date on Earth.
Earth Date is produced by the Bureau of Economic Geology at the University of Texas at Austin. Earth Date is researched by Julie Hennings, written by Harry Lynch, and distributed by Mark Blunt and Casey Walker. For more stories, follow us on Facebook or visit earthdate.org.
In these trying times, many people are depressed and lost because the future of our society is up in the air. If you're turning to substance abuse because you're feeling there is no hope, we have a way for you to see the light. SAD, or Stop Abusing Drugs, is a nonprofit organization that will help you, at no cost to you, stop abusing drugs. Founded by Tony Navarchi, SAD will refer you to the top detox doctors in your area. SAD will pay every and any cost for you, including doctor visits, counseling, and medications. If you need help, SAD is there for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you or a loved one needs help, or if you have a suggestion or idea for Tony, you can reach out to him by calling 844-493-3386. That's 844-493-3386. Or email Tony at tony@saddetox.com. That's Tony at SADDETOX.com. KCAAradio.com.
And now, the voices of KCAA with an exciting announcement.
Want to hear NBC News or KCAA anywhere you go? Well, now there's an app for that.
KCAA is celebrating 25 years and our silver anniversary with a brand new app.
The new KCAA app is now available on your smart device, cell phone, in your car, or any place.
Just search KCAA on Google Play or in the Apple Store.
One touch and you can listen on your car radio, Bluetooth device, Android Auto, or Apple CarPlay.
Catch the KCAA buzz in your earbuds or on the streets, celebrating 25 years of talk, news, and excellence with our new KCAA app.
Just do it and download it.
KCAA, celebrating 25 years.
Hi, I'm Lanny Swerdlow, and I'm back on KCAA 1050 AM and Express 106.5 FM every Tuesday at 8 p.m. My show is Beyond Common Sense. It's Lanny Sense, featuring me, Lanny Swerdlow, KCAA's resident gay, Jewish, liberal, pot-smoking, race-mixing, left-handed atheist, an evangelical, fundamentalist, Christian, nationalist, worst nightmare, with subjects that no one else will touch in quite the same way. Every Tuesday at 8 p.m. on Express 106.5 FM, the Legacy 1050 AM, and live streaming on KCARadio.com.
Hey, feeling good, like I should. When in dark, I walk around the neighborhood. Feeling blessed, never stressed. Got that sunshine on my Sunday best.
Welcome back, everybody. Happy Sunday. You're listening to Whatever Works on KCAA 1050 AM and Express 106.5 FM. I'm your host, Sam Works.
I'm Kyle Kerrigan.
And tonight we got two guests over the phone, two different states. We have Mike and Rob. They are they are with Fighting with Friends.
Fights with Friends.
Fights with Friends. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, it's you guys. Anyone can actually connect and be part of that community. They just, is it like you guys make bets on the sports, or you guys do predictions, right?
We do predictions. I would say I give betting tips. I guess the good thing. I always tell people, you're on your own for that. Of course, we take no responsibility. We're just if I'm telling you to bet on something, it's because I'm betting on it. And when it comes to fight picking, like Chael Sonnen, you guys probably know who Chael Sonnen is, and one of his biggest quotes is, "No one is good at picking fights." And you do your best. Nobody can pick it all. Most people probably thought Justin Gaethje was going to lose last night. I was actually talking to Misha Tate about an hour before that fight, and she picked Justin Gaethje. She goes, "Oh yeah, I think Gaethje's going to smash him," because she was at the event that we were watching UFC 300 at.
Wow.
And I think he's completely right in terms of no one's good at picking fights. And the reason being is because it's not we're putting bets on humans, right? Like people, like you don't know where their mindset is at when they walk in that octagon.
It's free will.
What their emotions are in that octagon and all that stuff. Like statistically, you can be like, okay, yeah, he's really good at this XYZ, but you're still betting on human error, human patterns and stuff like that. So like really when it comes down to placing bets, you looking at stuff statistically is great. I mean that's the strongest way you can do it. But like I don't place bets on fights or anything. Like I don't do that in general because I just have that bad luck, Yeah. And it's kind of hard to foresee that, especially when like you don't watch these guys training. You're just betting on like their previous fights or their records, things like that. And
some of these serious sports bettors do actually watch all the footage, like all the sparring and stuff. People get into it.
Yeah. So
a lot of fighters now have YouTube channels, which is actually a resource because somebody like Max Holloway, he might be inside of his training camp, and he's going to put on the best picture for you during that. But you watch enough of these guys, maybe you listen to some of their interviews. But what I've learned a lot of times is if a guy keeps repeating, this is the best camp that I've ever had, you're going to be surprised Saturday night. That guy, I would say 8 out of 10 times loses if he keeps repeating that. I used to bet on guys, oh, this is my best camp. I get excited. Oh, yeah, this is their best camp. No, that's like something you say for whatever reason when you didn't have a good camp. And I don't know why fighters do it, but it is one of the few constants in fighting. If I hear a fighter say this is the best camp I've ever had, I immediately get skeptical.
Do you think they say it's the best camp they ever had because they actually enjoy that camp? It's not hard enough for them, like they're not breaking down, being miserable? Because that's what I think it is. Like you have to be worse, like in a worse position or worse state of training in terms of like how much work you put in than you're out there fighting in the cage. Like being in the cage, like that's some real tough stuff, you know?
Right.
But like your training has to be more intense. It has to. And so if I feel like they're like, oh, this is my favorite, or this is the best camp, I think it's because they're enjoying the camp because it's too easy for them, you know? Because some of, like, not going back, but when I have conversations with people like teachers, right, when they're in schools, they're like, oh, I hated this teacher, da-da-da-da, because he, you know, but it's like those are the teachers that are actually doing good for you, you know, the ones that are
doing the job.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
A lot of the time, yeah.
Yes.
One other thing I would say is sometimes they're genuine. Sometimes I would say they're probably disingenuous. They're saying that more for themselves, for their own confidence. The other fighter listening, thinking, hey, you know, I don't want to know this guy to know I didn't have a very good camp. Maybe I had an injury that I do not want to disclose. I got an issue, you know, I got a small tear in my, in my Achilles or something. Or I got a little pulled hamstring. I don't want him to know that's in my right leg because he's going to target it all night. Right. And if a guy says, like I said, if a guy said he had the best camp ever, it's a red flag for me. But the guys that say, hey, this is what we did in this camp differently, like we did this and this and this, and then they go into details and then they go into specifics. I think there's a lot of things like that in life. You can spot somebody who's kind of telling you a little bit of a fib because they don't have all the details.
Mm. And so what are some more red flags when it comes to, you know, I don't want to keep saying bets. Predictions, thank you.
Yeah, it's fine. Predictions, bets is fine with me as long as people know I'm not going to take responsibility for my tips. Jamal Hill last night in the Alex Pereira fight. Classic example. I bet quite a bit of money on that one. I wish I would have bet more. But me and another guy in our community, I'll shout out Wyatt Matheson. He is literally one of the best sport predictors on Verdict right now. Like, this guy is fifth out of tens of thousands of people. He's really good. He's doing way better than I am. But one of the things we both pulled out is this is this guy's first fight after a major Achilles tear. It had been 15 months, yes, but if you know anything about that surgery, like that's an 18-month recovery a lot of times. It was the same surgery for those that are old like me and Rob. Maybe remember Rod Woodson in the Super Bowl, how they made a huge deal that he was able to come back at the end of the season, like 8 months later. And he was basically a decoy because he couldn't put any weight on that. He was still basically injured.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Didn't Aaron Rodgers come back after Achilles tendon tear like earlier than he should have?
He did. And Hill went through the same. He actually used the same therapist and the same team to come back from that. And, you know, I don't know how much it affected him. Hey, obviously that guy's a monster. He was on top of his game, but it seemed like Jamal Hill just didn't show up last night.
So Hill lost?
Yes. Hill
he got
got
knocked out
devastatingly.
Cool. Well, not cool, but I remember.
think we know where Sam went.
I remember when I
have
was.
to apologize to you guys real quick. I was having technical difficulties the first half hour. I couldn't hear what Mike was saying, so when he was talking, I was trying to talk. It was cutting out. Well, now I can hear him. For some reason, my speaker on my phone, when I had it like hands free, when you guys were talking, it was fine. But when he tried talking, it was like cutting out and muffled. So I turned it off and I have it to my ear now, and I can hear all you guys fine
Okay,
now.
there we go.
Yeah, I mean,
So I wasn't really in the conversation the first half hour. I was trying, except when you guys asked me something, that's the only time I could talk.
Well, I think you pulled it off really well. 'Cause
Yeah. No,
Oh, did I? Okay.
yeah, you're good. You're good, brother. And you sound clear right now.
yeah,
so
no,
that's-
you actually do sound a lot better than you did.
whatever
first
you
time.
did, next time we have you on, same thing.
Yeah, now I know.
All right, so I actually have a question. What other sports do you guys do predictions on?
Oh, well, Mike does, he has another sports channel called Mike's Sports Experience. And we did the March Madness, quite a few games.
Okay.
And then he would talk about doing, because they're bringing back Seattle Supersonics.
I
and
heard about
he's a
that.
big Seattle fans, so we're going to be doing that,
Yeah.
you know. And then
I also heard they're
some
putting a
baseball,
team
maybe.
in Las Vegas, right?
Yeah, they're bringing a team to Las Vegas too. They're also we got a few people on our chat that love wrestling. So
Okay,
I used
yeah.
to be in it when I was a kid. So I said, "Hey, Mike, if you ever want to do a wrestling thing, I'm down to do anything that Mike does because I just like the way he commentates sports." So I told him we could be doing sumo wrestling. I'll listen to you, Mike, and I'll be all in on the channel. You know.
Well, thank you, Rob. I really appreciate that.
That just means you have a lot of faith in this guy, and
Well, yeah,
that's
like
good.
he's been a part of my life for the past 7 years. And
Okay, so I got a question about Seattle then. Do you think they'll keep the name Supersonics, or do you think they'll do the Houston Texans thing and change the name?
I think they most likely will, because the reason that the Oklahoma Thunder became the Thunder when they moved is part of the negotiations of getting them there was like, okay, Seattle's like, okay, we're not going to be able to keep our team. You're not getting our name. So they own the Supersonics and Sonics brand. So I think they will.
Okay.
well, the same thing's going on with the Oakland A's. They're not going to be called the A's. They're going to be called the Las Vegas Blackjacks.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah. I heard they're blowing up the Tropicana for that.
Yep, right there across the street from the MGM and the Excalibur.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, we
That's right there in
actually drove
downtown,
by
huh?
there.
Yes, right catty corner from the T-Mobile Arena where UFC was.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, no, I really do hope the Supersonics come back because they're still selling merch, like crazy.
I
thought
buy it. Every time I can find collectible Sonic stuff, it goes in my collection.
There's some people in LA that I know that sell Supersonic stuff, like old jerseys.
Wasn't
and-
Sean Kemp with Supersonics, Mike?
Yes.
That's the only person I remember from back in the day. I've seen Sean Kemp jerseys all over California.
Yeah, Kemp, and then I can't think of the other names, but
Gary Payton.
Gary Payton.
Oh,
yeah.
Gary
Definitely
Payton.
Shrimp, Nate McMillan.
I got that marijuana strain right now, actually.
The
Medical marijuana strain.
There we go.
It's medically though, so I got a license.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I really do hope the Seattle Supersonics come back. And what name do you think will be in LA? Like, what's a good NBA team name for LA?
Or Las Vegas.
Or
Las
Las
Vegas.
Vegas.
I think they're
Las
already going to be
Vegas,
the.
sorry.
I think they're already going to. I'm not sure. I thought Blackjacks was decent, but Rob was saying I think that's going to be the A's.
Yeah.
Wait, no, maybe I got that backwards.
Gambling?
Maybe that is going to be the basketball team. That's right.
Yeah.
I might have that wrong. It might be the basketball team might be called the Las Vegas Blackjacks.
Okay. I kind of like the
Yeah.
Devils because it's Sin City.
Oh yeah.
I think that would be
not
cool.
bad.
But I think the color scheme would be kind of like the same with the Bulls. Like you gotta pick a name and like a brand that has like a different color scheme. You know what I mean?
Call it Red Devils because Las Vegas got red dirt and everything.
Oh right, yeah.
I
And
like
that'd be
red
like
and ba-
cool
red and
uniforms,
black
like
for the logo of Las
a
Vegas.
brownish red kind of uniform, like the dirt color.
rust color.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Or it could be like the Jokers, because of the cards. But I don't know. Yeah, I think
That'd
there's a
be
lot of
cool, actually, too.
possibilities. You could
That-
do
that'd
like
be cool
purple
name.
and green or something. I think that'd be cool.
That would be hard.
Yeah,
That would be cool.
purple, black, and green. I think that would be cool, like for a Joker. Like just have like a jester.
Oh, that's
That'd be
That's
cool.
a great idea. You need to get in a hold of their marketing team.
Yeah, if that actually goes off, we'll have it on Fights Friends. But no, I'll definitely send something in for that.
Yeah, no, that would be fun if they end up doing that. And just for anybody that I think a lot of people probably they knew about the UFC, of course.
Yeah.
They were maybe a casual MMA fan or they hadn't watched much. Like, I have a feeling last night's card made a lot of new MMA fans because, to me, it was the greatest card of all time. And I've been watching this since, literally the inception. So that's a lot for me to say about it.
Yeah. Who's your favorite UFC fighters or MMA fighters?
Active for me, it'd be Stipe. He's right at the end of his career. All-time Anderson Silva.
Really? Anderson Silva?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think he was.
Mine's John Jones, the greatest to ever do it, the greatest to ever live. Dana White and Joe Rogan believe the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, no, John Jones is good. Mine is probably Khabib, only because I think his training and his sparring was unique. He's the only guy that you saw in the forest, swimming in the river that was like -20.
Khabib's my number 2. He used to wrestle bears when he was like 3 years old. That's why.
That's mine.
Yeah.
My number 2.
But yeah, no, I think Khabib's conditioning, I think we could all learn from, but I don't think everyone could do it.
Yeah, but that family is actually, they're becoming
Islam's supposed to be the next Khabib. We'll see how he does against, they just announced a fight.
Right.
Mike, it's slipping my mind. Who is Islam fighting coming up in June?
Islam?
Yeah, Islam's fighting. They just announced it.
Islam Makhachev?
Yeah, Islam Makhachev is fighting. They announced it last night at the post-fight press conference.
Yeah, see, my brother, his favorite UFC fighter was Chuck Liddell, Iceman.
Oh, Poirier, Dustin Poirier. Islam Makhachev's fighting Dustin Poirier June 1st.
Ooh, that's going to be hard.
Yeah, Dustin Poirier is good, too. I like him, bro. He has hands.
I hope Dustin can do it, but if Islam just walks through Dustin, then, he just could be.
Yeah. Hey, guys, we just got that 2-minute mark here.
Okay.
2 or 3 minutes. But if anyone wanted to join in your guys' community and listen to your predictions and stuff, where can they find you?
You can follow us on Fights with Friends, of course, on YouTube, on Twitter. It is Seattle Mike at Fights W Friends, capital S, capital M, and then also we have a private Facebook group. You should be able to find us easy enough. Just type in Fights with Friends. You will have to send an invite, but I'll most likely accept it. If I can tell it's not a spam account or something, then we'll pretty much accept everyone. And then we have a group chat that we keep in touch with each other throughout the week.
Cool, man. That's awesome. Well,
Awesome.
Hey, thank you guys so much for coming on. I appreciate you guys.
Thanks
I was pretty interested in how the show was gonna run because I'm not really this is not really my expertise, and I was like, okay, we're gonna talk about sports. So I'm like, I do like UFC, that fight last night. I was like, we'll for sure talk about that. But it turns out, every time I do my show with guests, especially topics like this, it always ends up being pretty good, better than I expect. So thank you guys for coming on. I appreciate both of you, Mike and Rob, and maybe one of these days we can do predictions on the air, during
that'd be
we'll do
cool.
a recording or something. I don't know. We can figure something out, but definitely
We can figure something out.
Yeah.
I've been listening along with you guys. I heard when you guys had my father on for the Martin Luther King, the Civil Rights talk. That was cool.
That was a really good. Yeah, that was a
really good conversation. And also last weekend too, you guys talking about mental health and stuff. That was cool.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
Hey, thank you guys for listening, and thank
you
for all.
Thank you guys very much.
Yes, and thank you everyone else who's been listening here, listening to Whatever Works on KCAA. We'll be back next week with another guest. Stay safe, have fun, God bless, happy Sunday.
Never stress. Got that sunshine on my Sunday best. Hey, every day can be a better day despite the challenge. All you gotta do is leave it better than you found it. It's gonna get difficult to stand, but hold your balance. I just say whatever, cause there is no way you're around it. Everyone falls down sometimes.
KCAA and KCAA Internet Television, the station that leaves no listener and no viewer behind.
This segment brought to you by Rams Express Car Wash and Sinclair Gas at 2090 Mentone Boulevard in Mentone. Rams Express Car Wash, celebrating 1 year of bubbles, suds, and clean cars in Mentone. Join them Friday, April 26th for their parking lot celebration at the corner of Mentone and Crafton Hills in Mentone. Look for the Sinclair Dinosaur. Now that the sunny days are back, you can keep